How many times have you tried to reinvent yourself? You make the perfect plan. Wake up at 5 a.m., work out, meditate, take cold showers, eat perfectly, and transform into a completely new person in 30 days. And how many times did it actually last? A week? 3 days? Maybe just one? You don't fail because you're lazy. You fail because you're trying to change your life through motivation instead of identity. 400 years ago, a young samurai struggled with the exact same problem. He had talent, strength, speed, and potential, but he couldn't keep a promise to himself, and that weakness nearly destroyed his future. In 1592, in northern Japan, a 23-year-old trainee named Saburo knelt in the dirt outside a dojo, blood dripping from his nose. His wooden sword lay several feet away. A sparring match had just ended in 12 seconds. His opponent was younger and less experienced, yet Saburo had been disarmed and struck across the face in front of everyone. Yamamoto-sensei, the master, watched in silence. This humiliation wasn't new. It was a pattern. Saburo would wake up inspired, promising to train for hours and become a true warrior. He would push hard for 2 days, then feel sore and exhausted, sleep late, skip practice, and collapse back into inconsistency. The other students stopped respecting him. He became known as the talented failure. Worse than their judgment was his own. Every broken promise whispered the same truth. I cannot trust myself. That evening, as Saburo sat alone in shame, Yamamoto-sensei approached and told him to stand. Do you know why you fail? The master asked. Saburo lowered his head and said he lacked discipline. The master shook his head. No, you do not know how to build it. At dawn the next morning, Saburo returned. The master handed him a wooden sword and ordered 50 overhead cuts, then 50 defensive stances, then 50 thrusts. By the end, Saburo was sweating and trembling. How long did that take? The master asked. 12 or 15 minutes, Saburo replied. 12, the master corrected. That is your daily training. Saburo was confused. How could 12 minutes make him a warrior? The master asked how many days Saburo had trained consistently the previous week. The answer was none. This is Shiko, the master said. Supreme consistency. It is better to train 12 minutes every day than 6 hours once a week. You are not building skill first. You are building identity. When you show up daily, even tired, you prove you are someone who keeps promises. Never zero. Some days strong, some days weak, but never zero. Saburo began. Day 1, he showed up. Day 2, sore but present. Day 3, his mind attacked him with excuses, but he went anyway. By day 7, something shifted. His body improved slightly, but more importantly, his self-image changed. For the first time, he could say, I show up. In week 2, Saburo wanted to add more techniques, but the master demonstrated a single perfect overhead cut over and over again. I have done this movement more than 10,000 times, he said. Samurai do not master complexity. They master simplicity until it becomes extraordinary. This was Kantan radical simplicity. Saburo focused only on 3 movements, not because it was easy, but because mastery hides in repetition. In week 3, the master pointed to a worn spot on the dojo floor. This is where I train every day, he said. For 43 years. When Saburo asked why, the master explained Kukin, sacred space. Space shapes identity. Same time, same place, same ritual. That spot became sacred. When the master stepped onto it, he didn't decide to train. He became the warrior. In week 4, the master handed Saburo a notebook. Record every session, he said. Dates, repetitions, thoughts. Memory lies, feelings lie. The record tells the truth. This was Kyoku, the record. The notebook became proof of Saburo's identity, evidence that he was consistent, not just a story he told himself. On day 31, Saburo woke with a fever. His body ached, and his mind searched for excuses. Everyone would understand if he rested. But he remembered his deeper reason. He refused to be a man whose word meant nothing. He walked to the dojo, stood in his sacred spot, and completed his 12 minutes slowly and weakly, but he did it. The master nodded. Today you learned shinin, unwavering conviction. Your why must be stronger than your discomfort. By day 90, Saburo no longer debated whether to train. It was automatic. He wasn't trying to become disciplined. He was disciplined. In a sparring match, he defeated the same opponent who once humiliated him, but he felt no pride, because the real victory wasn't skill. It was identity. Saburo didn't become great because he trained harder than everyone else. He became great because he trained more consistently. The 5 principles built him. Shiko, never zero. Kantan, master the simple. Kukin, same place and ritual. Kyoku, track everything. Shinin, a deep, unbreakable reason. This system still works because human nature hasn't changed. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is evidence you build daily. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You need one promise, one small daily action, maybe 12 minutes, and you keep it for 30 days with no 0 days. That's how identity forms, not by thinking, but by proving. Years later, Saburo was a respected master. Students admired his skill, but what defined him was reliability. He had trained thousands of consecutive days, not because he was superhuman, but because he stopped relying on motivation and started building identity. When a struggling student once asked how to become disciplined, Saburo gave the same answer his master gave him. You don't need to become a different person overnight. You need to prove to yourself once that you can keep one promise for 30 days. If you do, everything changes because you'll have proof that you are capable. Now the question turns to you. What is your one promise? Reading, writing, training, studying, practicing a skill? Choose one small daily action. Same time, same place. Record it. Never 0. Because the goal isn't just the habit. The goal is to become someone who keeps promises. And a person like that, someone who shows up every single day no matter what, becomes unbreakable.